Okay, so the answer lies in the two doctrines, hypostatic union, communicatio idiomatum. Hypostatic union is that in the one person of Jesus are two distinct natures, the divine and human. The communicatio idiomatum, or the communication of the properties, says that those two natures' properties, the properties of them, are ascribed to the single person. So Jesus technically did not come into existence until 2,000 years ago, because the union of the divine and the human occurred 2,000 years ago, where the attributes of both natures were ascribed to the one person. That occurred 2,000 years ago. Of course, the divine word was eternal. All right, so when Muslim will say to me or whatever, will say, God can't die, I say, yeah, you're right, I agree. And I don't say anything because they're confused. And what do you mean? You just say God died. Says, I've never said God died. What do you, death, you're talking about biological function here. What I'm doing is saying what they know and what I'm going to say, and I'm getting ready. But the point is, I explained to them, no, only the human nature experienced the severity of that death in its own experience, in that it accomplished it. The divine nature, by definition, cannot die. So what we have here is the realization that the person of Christ is divine and human. The person experienced that death. And so since Jesus, the person, said, I am thirsty, claiming human attributes, I'll be with you always, even to the end of the earth, claiming divine attributes. The same person, I, claimed both. I, the person, died on the cross. Therefore, the sacrifice has divine value. And I'll reiterate and I'll say, so it's not the divine nature that died, but the human nature. And both of them are in Jesus. Jesus is both. So Jesus, when he died, that's why we say indirectly that God died, but that's what the technical answer
So,
is. I
so
explain it to
Matt,
them.
Matt, would you say the person who died is God the Son? The nature in which death occurred is his human nature.
Yes, and we've got to be careful. We don't want to get into partialism in the Trinity, get it down into the person of Christ, or go Nestorian and then separate the natures. I always say, you have to understand, it's the person of Christ that died on that cross, the person of Christ. And I talk about this, tell Christians, I say, we observe the divine through the human. We watch Jesus walk on water. We watch Jesus raise people from the dead. The divine is there in the person, and it's expressed through the human. Likewise, in the atoning sacrifice, the divine aspect of work is expressed through the human suffering and death of Christ, and this is how it works.